So what I see is there's still an overwhelming support for Ukraine. First of all, the Ukrainian people are so impressive in their bravery. This is amazing. And we know that you are fighting a fight not only against Russia, but you're also fighting for the respect for the international law, for humanity, for the dignity, and for the sovereignty of your country, the democracy. So this is a fight that is also very important for us. And speaking of the fossil fuels from Russia, indeed, we have sanctioned the coal, we are winding down oil, and now Russia is down with the gas already dramatically. At the beginning of the war, Russia was delivering 40% of all imported gas. This is now down to 9%, and I think this process will go on. We have been working very hard in the last months because we anticipated that Putin would close down Nord Stream 1. So we worked hard to diversify away from Russia to other suppliers, reliable suppliers like the United States or, for example, Norway. And we have managed that all the decrease in Russian gas has been compensated by our friends. It was and is difficult, therefore prices are also high. Energy overall globally is scarce, but you see with active work you can do a lot. We save a lot of gas in our gas storages. We are at 85% filled gas storages, that is good. And we ask people also to save not only gas but also electricity. Everybody has to do its share. To this moment, I think it's not going to be easy, it's not trivial, but we have shown that we can get rid of our dependency of Russian fossil fuels, and this is also then Russian gas. This is very hard to say looking back in hindsight. Of course, there are many connections, personal connections, for example, to Russia. We share a history that has been in times very difficult, but we share a common history. But what is very clear is, as I said in my speech, that we should have listened more to the Central and Eastern European countries. We should have listened more to Ukraine, because you made this experience. And I think we should have listened more to, or taken more serious what Putin is saying, because he has exposed his views already a month before he started that war. Oh yes, you see that there's an overwhelming support from the European Union. I give you an example. Since the beginning of the war, the financial support of, we call it Team Europe, so the European Union and all the 27 member states, has amounted now to 19 billion euros. And some are able to give military material, others welcome refugees, others give financial support. So there's an overwhelming willingness to help Ukraine. Putin has all the time tried to divide us wherever there might have been a crack. But it is good to see that he was never successful. And the bonds between the European Union and Ukraine today are stronger than ever. I think if I see the motivation, the bravery of the Ukrainian armed forces and the Ukrainian people, I'm deeply convinced that you will win this war. Of course, there will be then many, many years of reconstruction, but that too we should do together. There's one very clear rule. The conditions are defined by Ukraine. It's your decision, and it's Ukraine who has to define the conditions.
But do you see a unity in this statement? Because I think
yes.
A lot of... Yes?
Yes, this is a very clear principle for the European Union and the heads of state and government, because you are a sovereign country and it's your future. Well, we have in many decisions the so-called council decision, where it is qualified majority that is sufficient. But there are a few topics, for example, in sanctions, where unanimity is necessary. And this is a system that cannot be changed easily. So it's more important to focus to convince everybody and to take everyone along. Unity and solidarity, these are the most important pillars of success. What I observe now is that the accession process is very well on track. It is impressive to see how motivated, how determined, how swiftly Ukraine is moving forward. What is necessary is not only to implement, but also we call it to show a certain track record. So results have to be shown, that we see something goes in the right direction. This takes some time, but in parallel we can do a lot. In parallel, for example, it's so important to build up the Ukrainian economy. This is the backbone for success here, because you need income from your own work, and this can be done in parallel, so it does not have to be one step after the next, but you can have parallel tracks. I think this is democracy. In democracy there are always different views, and what is our task? Our task is to convince everybody and to take everyone along.